Good evening. Welcome to Chelsea Forum. My name is Duke Bradley, and I have some special guests here today, and they're called HubCats. Now, HubCats. Now, I thought when we got a call they were going to be something about Cats the Musical, but it's going to be very interesting. These people have some good thoughts and things about cats, and it's new to me, so I'm going to turn it over to Laura. Introduce your guest.
My name is Laura Appleton. This is Stacy LeBaron, Sherry Gustafson, and Sufra. Last name again?
Jepping.
Thank you, Jepping. And we're a group of women. We have men in our group as well, by the way. They're just not here today. That have formed to help the cats of Chelsea specifically.
What does that mean? Help the cats of Chelsea? Do what?
Well,
do we have a lot of cats in Chelsea?
We have a lot of stray cats in Chelsea. Like 10, 11 years ago when I first moved to Chelsea, I started noticing them, that like starving cats would come to my yard, my front yard, backyard, and they would start either living under my stairs, my porch, or on my stairs, and literally begging for food or begging to come in because it was getting cold. And that's really how I got started in the beginning. I didn't know anything about stray cats or homeless cat population in Chelsea. But when they started coming, I felt bad for them that they were trying to come inside my house, and we already had 2 cats and who were very territorial and didn't want them to come inside, and would chase them outside, and they would cry outside my window, cry outside my door. So I started calling the shelters, the no-kill shelters around me, and I realized that at that time, or soon, that there was a great need for more shelters because there wasn't any around Chelsea or in Chelsea. And the shelters I did call, the no-kill shelters, all had a long waiting list. So I was finally able to get the very first cat that I had ever rescued that was a stray. Somebody had left her behind. One of my neighbors had moved and left her behind, and she was hungry and cold. And I was able to finally, after waiting for a while, able to get her into a no-kill shelter right before the first big snowstorm. So that's when I first got started.
Now, what is a no-kill shelter?
No-kill shelter is a shelter that doesn't put down cats for if they have too many cats. Some shelters, if they have too many cats and not enough space, like they
those no-kill, can you adopt them from there?
Of course, yes. There are many no-kills in Massachusetts you can adopt from, and they just don't put down cats for lack of space. But also the downside is because of that they have a long waiting list sometimes.
Now, living in Chelsea, I don't see a lot of them. Are they mainly nocturnal? Maybe I don't see them?
Cats are very nocturnal creatures, correct. But in my area they just kept coming. If I helped 1 or 2, 2 or 3 more showed up, started living on my stairs, on my backyard, in my backyard, under my porch, and I just kept, finding shelters for them. And most of them turned out to be tame cats, which means somebody had left them behind.
They have collars or anything?
No.
But they were owned and they were friendly, right?
They were. Well, sometimes what happens is when they're outside for a while, they become fearful of people, so they may seem unfriendly, but once you interact with them for a while, then you realize that, oh, they were owned cats at one point, but now are scared because they've been living on the streets. And
now, when you have your own cats at home, they're not accessible to the other cats that come by, that they don't get along? Like a stray cat? You can't take them in?
We have 2 cats that are very territorial of the house, like.
And you don't let them out, and you don't let them out?
No, I don't let them out because of, there are a lot of dangers outside. Like we have found cats that got hit by cars, many cats that got, you don't see them at night. They run out in front of the car. Sometimes they're dark, or, the street is dark. Or.
And they blinded by the headlights also?
I'm not sure if they are. Are they, Stacy?
I don't know about that, but
ideas?
a lot of cats are hit by cars. A lot of kittens too are hit by cars. Yeah, there was a study done once up in Haverhill, and we had done a very aggressive spay-neuter program up there, and what really impacted it was the reduction in the number of hit-by-car kittens by having an aggressive spay-neuter program in the community, which, you know, the animal control officer doesn't really want to go around and pick up hit-by-car cats or hit-by-car kittens. So it was really a great program that we had up there when I was with the Merrimack River Feline Rescue Society.
Yeah. But speaking to you, where you live in Chelsea and I live in Chelsea, now we do have an abundance of rats because of all the building.
We do now.
And now they've moved their territory, you know, that they're moving.
When I first moved to Chelsea 11 or 10 or 11 years ago, I didn't see any rats. I used to be outside in, you know, at midnight. I didn't see a single rat for the first, I would say, 6 years in Chelsea.
Until construction started.
Until construction started. That's now I see rats all the time.
Are they everywhere so far, or they're in the commercial area?
No, I think
they're every place.
They're pretty much everywhere, but it only happened after they pulled up the oil tankers and the rats were living under there. They lost their home. The new construction started.
Well, we've got tons of hotels just opened up in the big FBI building. And this bridge here that they've been working on for 2 years, so they've moved them over to us also.
Yeah,
so
well, I'm
it's
very
well
happy
dated
about
around here.
Yeah, I'm happy about the construction and the FBI moving to Chelsea, but not happy about the rats being homeless and coming everywhere now.
Plus, we got a waterfront also. I think you know something about the waterfront being up in Newburyport.
Yeah, so we had rats and cats living together up in the Newburyport waterfront back in the early 90s when we had 300 cats living up there. And we did a trap, neuter, return program where we got all the cats spayed or neutered up there. And over time, our population obviously went down from 300 cats down to 50 cats, down to, by 2008, no cats. And actually, the city officials wanted the cats there. And I was just reading an article earlier today is that the female rats don't like the scent of female cats. Therefore, if you have a colony with female cats, the female rats are going to move away. They don't want their children near the cats.
And the male will follow?
And the male will follow. So the rats will move out of that area. So that's why it's been, in other parts of the country, in Chicago, in New York, there have been programs to use community cats to help with a rat situation.
And what, do you clip their ear or something?
Yeah, we do an ear tip on their left ear, which is it's a flat cut right across their left ear. And they go to a free spay-neuter clinic. There are several organizations that provide free spay-neuter clinics for feral cats, for community cats.
Are they called feral cats?
They're called feral, usually born in the wild. Some of them are, though, abandoned cats that are friendly cats, and those cats, you know, should get pulled in and put up for adoption. But the feral cats should go back to their colonies. And Sherry is very involved with the Mass Animal Fund and has helped with funding the spay-neuter cost for feral cats. And she's also worked at those Sunday clinics. And it's a left ear tip, and the cats are anesthetized in these traps and spayed or neutered, and then they're released within 24 hours. One thing that Chelsea is lacking, that this group is really advocating for, is trying to find a location that is heated, that we can hold the feral cats, the community cats, before surgery for 24 hours, after surgery for 24 hours.
So what would you need?
So we could do
what kind
more.
of facility?
Well, we'd need a space about 24. We have, in other communities, they've used heated garages or workspaces, a workshop area. Having access to running water is good.
A fire station.
Yep, fire station.
Wouldn't you think businesses would like to have them too?
So to have them as resident cats?
Yeah.
Yeah, possibly, yeah. There are quite a few working cats in businesses. In Newburyport, when we first started out, we had several businesses right in that downtown touristy area. Bookshops had cats.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a big tradition of businesses actually having cats to help, you know, manage their mouse problems. But, you know, here our group is really focusing on getting the cat population down with very aggressive spay-neuter for owned cats, as well as for the community cats, the free-roaming cats that are out there, because spay-neuter really is kind of the name of the game.
After I got to do a little research on I read someplace where in Mattapan they're having a virus that's killing cats.
Yeah, Sherry's
Sherry
been
can talk to
very involved with that.
So we actually just did a free clinic at
Am I
Mattapan.
right with Mattapan?
Yep, so it was Mattapan. So what we saw out there was we did see some cats test positive for Pan-Luc, which is also known as feline distemper. So it can be a really devastating disease for especially young cats that haven't been vaccinated. Those are who are most at risk for it. We did see, I believe the total number is about 9 positive cases come out of that Mattapan area. And so what we did is we worked together with Boston Animal Control and with Boston Animal Rescue League, and we put on a free clinic. So free vaccinations for anybody who had a cat in the Mattapan area. They were able to come down to an empty lot where we kind of set up shop, and we vaccinated 121 cats in 3 hours, which was great. And the simple thing is that vaccination is really what they need to protect themselves against the disease. I know a lot of people were asking us questions, if there were community cats, how do we protect them? And really, the simple thing is just vaccinate. You vaccinate the community cats, you vaccinate the owned animals, and that's how you're going to get rid of the disease in the community.
Did it just stay in Mattapan, or did it spread?
We have seen some cases in other areas, but limited. So it is something that we're keeping a close eye on. I know I work for Mass Animal Fund, which is through the Department of Agricultural Resources, so we do get any reported diseases called into us, and we have seen a couple other cases of Pan-Luc in the area.
Once they get it, can it be cured, or once they have it before they hadn't been vaccinated, right?
So really with Pan-Luc, the way that it affects the cat is it causes a lot of distress, especially to their GI system. Some cats can recover after being exposed to Pan-Luc, and really it's about kind of, doing fluids, keeping them comfortable, helping their body fight off the virus. But it's not something that is necessarily curable, but it can be fixed through really aggressive treatment, but some cats will succumb to it. So it is a really devastating disease to happen in the community. The good thing is the vaccination that is out there is really good at preventing it, so that's really the key.
That's great. I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to put this down because I'm not going to look at this. You guys are going to remember it. No, mix it up. Okay? Let the public know what's going on.
Yeah, I have a question of Sherry.
Yeah.
With Pan-Luc and the outbreaks,
yes.
Much more vulnerable within the kitten community.
Yes.
So, as I was talking about with spay-neuter,
Yep.
it's so very important
Right.
to make sure that there aren't kittens running around in the streets, and that makes a community that much more sort of vulnerable.
Yep.
And so it's important to really emphasize, getting your cat spayed or neutered,
Yeah.
as well as vaccinated against rabies. We haven't really talked about rabies
No.
also, but that's another disease that, every cat needs to be vaccinated, regularly for rabies vaccination.
Yeah, there's definitely, things that are really good about really doing these focused spay and neuter efforts in the communities is not only are we spaying and neutering every cat, every community cat that comes into our trap, cats owned by low-income residents, really encouraging other residents to, take advantage of low-cost spay and neuter options available to them. But we're also vaccinating at the same time. So we're spaying and neutering to help prevent the overpopulation, but we're vaccinating to help prevent disease and to keep the community healthier overall. So, the flip side of vaccinating all the cats in the area is you're also going to see a benefit to the dogs. They're getting vaccinations against rabies, the cats are. So that's going to make, the community more protected overall in general. So it's a win-win for everyone, really.
Let me just ask you something. You live in Chelsea. Have we got any programs set up here?
Not in Chelsea, but Sherry can talk about this. The Department of Agriculture is offering free spay neuter vouchers, which also includes rabies, I believe.
Rabies and distemper, yep.
Correct. So she can talk about that. Anyone in Chelsea or any city in Massachusetts can apply.
Well, how do you get involved? Talk to somebody. Chelsea wants to get involved. How do they get involved? You're talking to people at home, and they're saying, "What can I do? How can I help you? Can I send money? Can I volunteer my time? Or can we help you set up something here?" I have no idea.
All of the above.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I mean, it's
All of the above?
It's been a long time coming. I mean, Super didn't mention, she has been working on this for a long time, and we do have meetings in Boston. We got a different audience, but the metro area for Boston and people that do cat rescue or have cat welfare in mind. And Super came a number of times saying, we need help in Chelsea. And I mean, she was persistent and dogged. And so it took a couple of years, but now finally we have a small group and we're growing, and that's HubCats. So I can say we probably officially started having meetings in Chelsea about 6 months ago. Maybe
4 months.
June was our kickoff.
Yeah,
this
Who
is
did you meet with, the health department?
We did at one point meet with Louis Prado and his
Louis Prado,
team,
yeah.
in addition to the fact that, you know, on a monthly basis we've been meeting at the police community room, just as a location and trying to send messages out through email or any other announcement. That we meet once a month. Please come.
Yep.
You know, we're trying to address.
Do we have a flyer
problems.
on yet?
Excuse me?
Do we have a flyer?
We have a website, hubcatschelsea.com, and then we also have a Facebook page, which is HubCats Chelsea. So that's really the best way for folks to reach us. We have a volunteer information form that folks can fill out there. We also will have a newly launched form that if people are feeding cats in their backyard or have questions about their cats in the backyard, they need shelters for them, you know, in the wintertime, they can fill out this form and we will be able to provide them with support.
I mean, do you guys get any help, financial help from the state or anything? Or?
Not at this point in
would be
time.
nice.
We are a 501c3 organization. We I knew of someone who used to do a lot of
Don't you have senators
rescue.
and representatives that represent you and talk to them that you can get some funding? I mean,
So
it's
we will once
it's something
we
that's going to help
establish.
each community.
Yep.
It's a great idea, and I've talked to specifically, you know, my state legislators about animal-related issues, and sometimes the feedback is there's so many issues, you know. So it's just a question of priorities and, you know, where they can spend their time. So it's a diplomatic way to.
But I would think businesses and all this new construction, they'd kind of be in for this, you know, anything that could help them. I mean, they don't want anything to be running around and, you know, for their residents to come and see these things. It kind of disturbs me a little bit. I see so many of those bait traps now by hotels and buildings. And
for the rodents, right?
And, you know, maybe if we had more of these, what do we call these cats?
Community cats.
Community cats. They got the name. They got a handle too, huh?
Yeah, Chelsea Community Cats too.
See that?
There you
Chelsea Community Cats. Chelsea, come on, get on the ball here. Give us a call. Give them a call. They're going to have their website, everything posted on ours, right?
Yep.
And so we'll keep
we'll
going.
have that. We'll have that going. One thing that we do need a lot of help with is foster care. We've partnered with a great organization called Broken Tail. And they're helping with adopting out the cats and kittens that are being rescued from Chelsea. But we have tapped out their foster homes, and so we're helping to recruit new foster homes because we're still getting kittens.
Why would they be foster home? Wouldn't they just say, I want the cat? Wouldn't they'd be their own cat?
Well, sometimes kittens are trapped at about 6 weeks of age, and they need some socializing. So I call them tiny tigers. Or you can say you're deferalizing a kitten.
Yeah.
So and I also say fluff and fold, you know, you want to just sort of fluff. So you can imagine, you know, grabbing a little kitten and just trying to get the kitten used to being around people and not having to struggle.
I love cats and kittens.
Yeah,
I told you, I think
you told
I
me
told
the story.
We had them, but my son was allergic.
Yeah.
And I loved them.
So this is your way of celebrating cats and kittens.
Yeah, I really, you know, when the subject came up, I said, go for it. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're really a nice pet, you know. I really do.
We do too.
You do, obviously.
We do too. And on the foster side, I did help initially before Broken Tail stepped in, and Megan's not able to be here today, but she's been a great contact for us. But I've helped place some fosters, and Super hasn't even talked about Carol, who is the one woman who seems to sweep most of the area and get feral cats or abandoned cats rescued and then treated.
How would you know that just a stray cat wasn't someone's cat, that just strayed for the night?
We don't.
Would you take that cat in?
I actually, that was one of the projects I did for the state. When I worked in shelters for a long time before I actually took the state job, one of the things I would see, a lot of people would pick up, you know, a cat off the street, bring it into the shelter. And a lot of times they really didn't need to come into the shelter. So that was something that I thought was really needed to be addressed. So I did what was called, I call it the stray cat flowchart. Basically, it's a flow chart, and we have it on our Mass Animal Fund website page that really kind of walks you through the process in determining whether or not a cat needs help, whether or not a cat should be brought into a shelter if we think it's a stray cat, someone might be looking for it, or whether or not it's a cat that needs to be TNR'd or trapped, neutered, and returned back to the area. So it kind of walks you through on the difference between a feral cat, a stray cat, an owned cat, and an injured cat, and how to determine each one.
Now, what do you do if you found a wounded cat? I mean,
So the first thing you'd want to do is try to reach your animal control officer. So call the animal control officer, see if they can provide assistance. If they're not available, definitely you can try to reach out to police station. A lot of times they might be able to help you. Or local vets. Sometimes they have contracts with a municipality to see if they can offer assistance, especially if a cat comes in injured. So if none of those resources are available to you, you can reach out to local shelters and rescues would be the next option.
my grandson did for his community service in Salem. He did a shelter. Yeah, I mean where they took care of the dogs and cats.
Yep.
And,
Is that
and he said the
Northeast?
adoption rate was great. People,
Yeah.
you know, were waiting in line to adopt.
Absolutely.
You know, so he loved it. I couldn't see him but doing this, and he got such an affinity for it. He got an attachment. He even worked after he didn't have to.
Yep.
You know, so it was nice. Yeah, he just felt sorry for them and loved it when someone got in, had the right credentials to adopt it, and you know, made his day.
Could you make that flow chart available?
Absolutely.
I mean, through
Yep.
our resources. I mean,
Put that on our website.
We've launched to become a resource for Chelsea, but I'm not clear about other resources available in Chelsea, SUFRA, between, say, you know, veterinarians or like, does Animal Rescue League of Boston address the Chelsea area?
They do.
I mean,
They do.
so, yeah.
There aren't any veterinarians in Chelsea, but ARL, the Animal Rescue League, does come to Chelsea if there's an injured cat or a stray cat shows up in your hallway, doesn't want to leave, and if you call them, they do come.
You know something we missed about today? We should have had the animal police officer here today.
Well, we can
Yeah,
have,
well, he attends our meetings.
Oh, he
and
does?
he's a
Yes.
great friend of ours.
Yeah.
So
I've had him in the
hope-
house a couple of times.
hope-
Bats,
Yep.
two bats.
Oh, too bad.
Oh,
Well,
oh.
Yeah.
So-
He said
and
they're
the
not
other
there. I said
nocturnal
they're there.
animals, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. But in terms of resources, I know the Catmobile has been, you know, you might want to talk about that because I think you've, or at least Everett or somewhere
What is
nearby.
the Batmobile?
No,
We
no,
have
no.
a Catmobile.
You've got bats on your-
Catmobile.
big bats on your
Catmobile.
mind.
Yeah, all right. Wow.
So the Merrimack River Feline Rescue Society actually operates 2 Catmobiles, but they have one that comes down, parks, I believe at the Stop and Shop that's in Everett, which is sort of on the Everett-Chelsea
borderline, yes.
And oftentimes, for the last 2 years, we've had, the Catmobile has had a grant where it's been $20 to get your cat spayed or neutered.
And
So-
vaccinated.
And vaccinated.
Yeah.
And so that number is 978 465 1940. And you can call that number, and oftentimes they have grant money available for folks that need assistance. So if you can't afford to get your cat spayed or neutered, there are definitely funding opportunities out there.
Now, what if I get you lined up, hooked up, like talking before the Rotary Club of the Kiwanis?
Yeah,
Would you be interested in that?
certainly. We would love to share our our
Because
story.
these are all business people and
Yeah.
and people that.
And I
could
mean,
be
I'm
pretty
in that
helpful.
environment with Newburyport at the Merrimack River Feline Rescue Society. Our first phone number was the Chamber of Commerce's
Yes,
phone
I
number.
was going to say the chamber.
Shirley McNanty, who was the president of the chamber back in the early 90s and a great cat lover, was very instrumental in having the community, business community, be very supportive
We
of
got
our
a very
efforts.
vibrant
Chamber of Commerce, and that's great. So we would love to bring them
So
in
let
and
me
get them
send out
involved.
some little
That would be fantastic.
feelers to them. You know, maybe you
Yeah.
guys can go before them.
I think that would
you
be
know?
great. Yeah.
Because you got a good story to tell.
So Eastern Minerals has
Oh, they're great.
fantastic feeding stations. I've posted pictures. You can see
Oh,
their
they're good
cat feeding
people.
stations.
Really?
They're I mean
The McAmees?
they are just wonderful cat
wonderful
lovers, and they've
people.
done a great job.
Well, they're right on the waterfront.
So well, they're beautiful. I mean, I live in those
they
shelters.
They help. They help everybody in the city. They never say
So,
no.
Well,
They never say no.
they've done a great job with the cats that they have there.
Really? Huh?
Yep. Yeah.
Good people.
Yeah.
Good people.
So.
Are we getting this little deer in the headlights here, Sandra?
No.
No.
I could keep on talking. It's up to
Yeah, I
you.
know it. Yeah, I kind of know. And you're a last minute addition here too.
I know.
What would we've done without you? Fine.
So it's I have been involved in starting groups.
Is it a labor of love?
It is a labor of love, but I've been involved in starting groups in other communities. I've done a project in Fitchburg, Lowell, Mass. And I have to say that the response of the folks in Chelsea coming to these monthly meetings, the
So
people
this is
volunteering
not,
and helping.
I
has
thought I was the
been-
new kid breaking ground. You
No.
guys have had meetings without me.
So it's been
should come.
wonderful.
That's not
you
right.
are welcome to
Welcome.
come
Yeah.
anytime. Everybody is welcome to
And
these
your
meetings.
grandson too.
Yep.
You should join us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I didn't know. I thought this was a first.
it's a first
Well,
for
yeah,
many.
we're just starting.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we still don't have funding yet. You know, we don't have a place to hold cats, like Stacy was saying. So we're really just starting out. So it's a new organization.
Yeah. And getting back to the Eastern Soul, what do you mean? They have a good feeding station? What
So they have these upper level feeding stations that they've built that have shingles on them, and they're like little cat houses. So
Little
that
Living a little better than
little
me.
tiny
Little-
houses.
little
yes.
houses, so that in the wintertime
Wow.
they're able to
Go in.
burrow in and go in, and they're up off the ground, so that then hopefully the rats don't get up there. They're phenomenal. They're just really gorgeous. So
well, they're-
I posted it on our Facebook page, on the HubCats Chelsea Facebook page. So if you become like our Facebook page and become a friend of ours, you'll see their picture there.
Okay.
And we also do put up the photos of the kittens and the cats that are available for adoption from Chelsea through Broken Tail Rescue. Since the middle of September, I believe they've taken in like 40 or 50 cats and kittens from Chelsea and put them up for adoption.
A myth? Is there a lucky cat or something that has coloring, a calico cat or a?
Sure.
I mean,
Well, there's money cats.
a money cat. Some
Money
kind of
cats.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
so those are very popular. And when
Yeah.
a money cat comes in, a lot of people
You know, when
want
we
to adopt them. And then there's the
when our cat
polydactyls.
had the kittens, they were gone. We took them to the pet shop, gone in a day.
Yeah.
5 beautiful. I used to love to come home, turn on the light, and it'd scatter. It'd be over the sofa, and I loved it, you know. But, you know, watching her give birth was even something. In the closet, you know, we had the blanket there for her, and I'm going a little sentimental here.
You
I know,
are.
yeah.
You are. You need to be a foster home.
I can't ask.
Well, is it your son that has left the home now, or is it?
Yes, he's left.
Okay,
he's
well
left.
there you
So
go.
now you've lost it.
Good for you.
But he comes over often. But he's really hypersensitive to it. You know, we had to get rid of everything. His his bedspreads, and everything. Comforter. You couldn't have anything with down. You know, he was so really, because we had to rush him to the hospital. Couldn't catch his breath, and they said he's really got a bad case of it, the asthma with it. So
I'm just curious, did that happen initially or over time? Did he just develop allergies to the cat over time, or did he just have an immediate reaction?
no, you know, we had the cat for a while. I don't know if it, but you know, then when we'd visit for the holidays, if someone had a dog, I couldn't find him. He'd be outside. His eyes were closed. You know, he just couldn't catch his breath.
Well,
So-
allergies are can they be cyclical? In terms of, you know, phases, I'm not as
You can develop allergies at any time.
at any
Well,
time.
he's got a
Yep.
dog, I should say now, but it's non-allergenic.
Yeah, and you can have
What is it? Non-allergenic? Hyperallergenic?
hypoallergenic.
Yeah.
And you can definitely be allergic to one animal in a species and not the whole species. So
Well, if they don't shed, right?
that can be part of
Cats
it.
have a lot of dander.
Yeah, I mean, even my son was allergic to cats when I first started in sheltering about 10 years ago, and I could not foster cats. I couldn't have a cat. Now that he's older, now he's a teenager, we have 2 cats. So he no longer
We even
has
have
those
wall to wall
allergies that
throughout
bug
the
him.
house. We had to take it all up.
Yeah.
Some people actually get better over time. I was talking about
Are you trying to advocate for me to get a cat?
We have 4
I
against
mean, come
1
on, the
here.
4 of you are, you know, zeroing in on me. Take it easy.
I'm always doing that. No, but I actually know people who were allergic to cats, and then over time they loved cats so much they got one anyway, and then over time the allergies went away.
Their immune system kicked in, so the antibodies could produce and
You guys are
wipe out those allergens.
Oh,
going to be
okay.
hard sell.
I just want to say that my son was the same. I had cats, and then he went to college, and when he went to college, whenever he'd come home, he'd start getting sensitive to the cat dander or something. So, and he just controls it with some over-the-counter medication.
and-
Yeah, and sometimes if he feels like he's got to, he'll take an inhaler. But he had cats in his life for an extended period of time, and now that he's away from cats, he's more sensitive. So
I would like to put a bit of a fundraising pitch in, and that
Well,
if
go
there
ahead.
are folks interested in donating, we do have a donate
Say it
button.
right there, Tom.
We do have a donate button on our Facebook page, which is HubCats Chelsea. You just search us on Facebook, and you can also donate through the website at HubCatsChelsea.com. We also are hoping to run a holiday auction. So if there are any businesses or any folks that have any items that they would like to donate, they can just email them to us, and we're going to do an online auction around the holidays. It'll be the end of November, early December. You can either participate by buying items, or you can participate by donating items. And that will be really one of our first big fundraisers to help
I mean,
kick
even
off our
dog lovers
efforts.
can donate to cats, can't
Most
they?
definitely, yeah. So you know, we're just as we've said, we're just starting out. We're looking for volunteers who are interested in helping with fundraising, outreach, foster care, trapping, transport, helping with food distribution to folks that need
Well,
assistance with
we
food.
need to put on our board when you do meet at the police station.
Yeah, we
So
will.
the public are welcome.
Great.
Are they welcome?
They are welcome. Everybody
Yes.
is welcome.
Yeah.
every
All right,
meeting
so
we had new people.
It's
Yeah.
once a month or so?
Once a month, yeah. We aim for the first Tuesday of the month, so that's our target. But do check with the website, and it's listed on there as when to our next meeting will be.
Yeah. Yeah, but we'd like to post it on our bulletin board. It runs 24/7.
That would be great.
And when you guys meet, and hopefully it'll work out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The more the merrier. We have had a shortage of carriers to help with transporting the cats. So if folks are interested in donating,
Do you
if
have
they
to
have extra
raise money to
carriers,
get a van or something?
cat carriers.
Do you have a,
We don't have any sort of a vehicle. We are very, very new, you know, and just starting out. Our volunteer trapper is looking to purchase a new vehicle, but that would be, we could put you in touch with that person, and you could work out, you know, contributing to her personal fund, trying to raise money for that vehicle. Because she is out trapping pretty much 24/7. She probably single-handedly traps 600 cats a year between East Boston,
A month?
Lynn, and Chelsea.
wow.
Probably
So-
1,000 a year.
And
more or
so
less.
she's a full-time community
Do we have
trapper.
a Chelsea trapper?
She is at this point in time. We're trying to recruit other people who'll be many hands make light work.
I trap in Chelsea. Yes,
Yep.
I've been
Super
I've been
does.
trapping in Chelsea for many years. Also, another thing I wanted to say is we do have an Amazon wish
Yep.
list.
Yep.
So if anybody wants to, instead of donating, they don't want to donate money, they can buy us cat food or carriers or dog crates, you know, stuff like that.
You know, we usually do put a wish list for certain, like some of the churches would gladly put up one for you guys.
Oh,
but
great.
some of the things, if you send it to us and we put it on our
Thank
bulletin
you.
board, that
Wonderful.
these are things that could help
Yeah.
in lieu of money.
Yep.
You know, we need, you know, supplies and so forth or whatever. You
That
know.
would be great.
We also have a vehicle donation program. So if someone wants to donate their car, boat, or motorcycle, they can do that too. So
That could help Carol.
Cars for, cars for cats.
Cars for cats. So
Right.
if anybody's got any, not that there's a
Hey, that's
plethora of
catchy.
parking around here, but if anybody does want to donate a vehicle to us, we do have that system in place also.
Great.
So fundraising is, I always say, 80% of the time is spent on fundraising to help support the 20% of the work.
I'd like to just go back to foster for a minute, only because I've had an opportunity to work with some of the fosters, and I know Carol does enough trapping that she could use more fosters, but just a couple of stories. There's a woman who heard some crying in her garage one night, and because she knew of me and she had my phone number, she called me at 10 o'clock at night, and I immediately called Sufra, who got in touch with Carol. And Carol spent how many hours?
She was up all night trying to reunite Mom and all the kittens.
And these kittens were only a week old.
Wow.
So, and they were in the garage. So, and the end of the story is, I think by 8 a.m. she had all the kittens and Mama. But she worked hard from 10 p.m. to 8 a.m.
We had
So-
the same story. Our cat was lost. Went next door into the garage, and they had the automatic
Yeah.
garage
Yeah.
closed on. We're going crazy looking for her. You know,
she
but
was
then we heard her
nearby.
crying. You know, it was in the garage.
Well, this mama, I don't know why she started crying, but I'm really glad that Pat called and said, you know, I need help. and that Carol was available. And you know, right now, so Carol took the kittens and Mama to a foster home so that they can grow and be social and get adopted. And Pat's already spoken up for Mama. She wants Mama as soon as she's available because she was so impressed with everything and the way we handled the situation. But that's just one. There's another woman in town she took in 2 kittens, and she said to me after a week, she said, "They're ours. We're not gonna give them back."
Say someone has a dog. Now, if they take in a cat, do they get along for the most part? Or, you know?
It depends on the cat and the dog.
Because if someone has a dog and they said, "I'd like to take in a cat," but would they be compatible?
Well, that's why fosters can, you know, work out for a lot of people. They may have lost a cat and they don't know if another cat will be welcome, so
How
they
about
can take in a
you read
foster.
these stories where someone lays 20 or 30 of them, just, you know, in a house, and they, you know, the house is in shambles, and these poor cats
That's
are.
an interesting topic, but because I'm sure there are people here in Chelsea that might resemble that, but I really don't know too more about why.
But you have
people
read
Well, I think
cases?
Sherry's probably been
Yeah,
involved
hoarding
with some situations.
Yeah, I've
like
actually
that.
gone and helped animal control officers inside hoarding houses, and you know, a lot of times people can get overwhelmed quickly. You know, they may have a couple of cats, and you know, cats are really prolific breeders, so they can multiply pretty quickly. And you know, the nice thing about groups like Chelsea HubCats is, you know, they're there to give resources to communities to prevent an overpopulation, not only in community cats but inside houses. So by offering, you know, low-cost spay and neuter options, that's really going to prevent it. But yeah, hoarding cases basically is just where someone gets overwhelmed and they're kind of, you know, they almost get blind to the issues inside their own house. So you know, usually it starts out as they're trying to do the best thing for the cats, and they just don't see the problem as it gets larger and larger until they really need help. So I have had to work with ACOs, you know, to help with hoarding house cases, and they're tough. A lot of times, you know, you really have to work with the individual, get them down to a manageable number, find homes for a lot of cats. You know, a lot of times you're dealing with health issues, but spay and neuter is really the way to prevent all that. So.
How is the Mass Animal Fund supported?
So we do have a program where we basically our Mass Animal Fund program is completely funded by donations on line 32F of the tax income return for Massachusetts. And through those donations, we really try to prevent pet overpopulation throughout Massachusetts in 3 categories. One is for animals, cats and dogs in ACO care. The other would be, or the other 2, one would be to help cats and dogs owned by low-income residents of Massachusetts, and the third would be for feral cats. So for efforts like this one, to give no-cost spay and neuter vouchers for cats that are being trapped, neutered, and returned to the community. So we are trying to help in this area through the voucher program. We do work really closely with the ACO in Chelsea and provide him vouchers whenever we have the funding available to do so. So for any low-income resident who has a cat or dog that's not spayed or neutered, definitely reach out to the animal control officer and see if there's vouchers available. For efforts like this, we do try to send out vouchers for TNR efforts whenever we have the funding available, and for any animal in ACO care.
And it's completely free.
It's completely free.
Free.
So yes, that's how you know, basically the voucher covers the complete cost of spay and neuter surgery plus the rabies and the distemper vaccination. So it's there to help the communities.
That's great.
Yeah, and she has local veterinarians that have signed up to support the program, but more veterinarians are always welcome
Absolutely.
to be part of the program.
Pro bono?
No, they actually, the way the program works, whether vouchers are free for the individuals that receive them, for their cats or dogs, or for the animal control officer bringing in cats or dogs in their care, we reimburse the vets for their time. So that's how the voucher program works. So all the donations that come into Mass Animal Fund are used to reimburse the vets for the cost, their cost to be performing the surgeries and making them available to the communities. So. In the last 2 years since the program started, we've helped over 5,000 animals across the state.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's great. Here goes that.
There's one other item out there too, that this is something you could have on your car if you'd like, which is a spay-neuter license plate. Did you know they existed?
No, I don't.
So it's a vanity plate, which is sponsored by the Massachusetts Animal Fund through the Registry of Motor Vehicles. And then, so you pay, I believe it's $40 for the plate, and 25 of that will go to the Massachusetts Animal Coalition.
Yep.
And
Not strictly cats.
It's cats, cats and dogs. It's
And rabbits.
rabbits.
And
It's
rabbits.
a grant process that helps support nonprofits doing their work like what we're trying to do in Chelsea. I don't. Do you have a license plate? Or it's a cute little license plate with a little cat and a dog on it. And so if people want to support the cause, but not necessarily have a cat or a dog in their house, they can get a spay-neuter license plate. And that's petplate.org is the website for that.
Yeah.
So there's a whole range of different ways that people can participate, in helping. Certainly we would love food donations, if people are at the store and they want to just grab some food or off the Amazon wish list. It's just, like I say, many hands, really help make light work.
Many paws.
Many paws, yes, many paws make light work. And we need as much help as we can get to be successful here in Chelsea. There's so many people coming and going in this city. I mean, I have all these analytics on trying to figure out how many free roaming cats there are, but it's really hard to really analyze it. We have so many different people coming and going, people moving in and out. As you mentioned, so much construction going on. So there's a lot of different challenges. But I think that we've got a great group of people and everyone is welcome, and the more the merrier. And just thank you so much for letting us come on the show. We really appreciate it too.
Well, you're welcome anytime.
Well, thank you.
And we'll do it more often, okay? But now, what do you meet? Once a month on the first Tuesday of the month?
It's usually the first Tuesday of the month.
At
At the
Chelsea
police station.
And
Yep.
all are welcome.
All are welcome. It's at 6:30. And we've had new people pretty much at every meeting
Really?
wanting to learn.
Yes.
Yeah, we had almost
How can I be in the
25?
media and not know this? Then you come to me and say, can we do a show? And I'm saying, this is our first exposure to this.
Yeah.
You guys have been meeting behind my back.
4 months, just
But not
4
long.
months.
Not
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Well, I
Right.
want to be there.
So you're
Yeah.
welcome anytime, anytime. And we even Skype in. I'm hoping to figure out a way to get the meetings on like a Facebook Live or something like that. But that's getting a little beyond me. But we'll get there.
Yeah.
Technology.
We got to take little steps first.
But yeah. But this show is fantastic. It's wonderful.
The price is right, isn't it?
We don't know yet.
Ricky, you're still writing it up? You'll know when you leave here. All right. Anybody want to? I think we did an hour, which it flew by. No?
Pretty close.
So let's sum up. Anybody, each one take a whack at it. This is your camera, and someone, good.
Go ahead.
How everybody can help. Just say what they can do, what you'd like to see done.
I would like to see more cats and dogs spayed and neutered and vaccinated in Chelsea. So I know we're just starting out and we're an all-volunteer organization, but go to our website, email us, and call us if you have cats or stray cats that need to get spayed, neutered, vaccinated that you know of. But be patient because we don't have somebody always minding the phone, but we will get back to you. Just, keep trying. There's not enough of us, so we're always looking for volunteers and help, as Stacy mentioned. And also, I would like to remind everyone about the voucher program Sherry just mentioned. Contact the Chelsea ACO if you need vouchers to get your cat or dog spayed, neutered, and vaccinated. And there is a wait list, but if he fills out the form, and Sherry will send you the vouchers eventually, so you can get your cat, dog fixed, vaccinated for free. And that's the most important thing in preventing overpopulation. Like, they mentioned it can get out of hand very, very quickly. You take in 2 cats, and if they're not fixed, it can turn into 20, 30 very, very quickly. So at 4 months old, get them all fixed, vaccinated. It's safer for you, safer for your pets.
Very nice.
Great. Well, she said a lot, so I don't know how much more I have to say. I think the biggest thing to keep in mind is to make a community healthy, especially when it comes to dealing with pet overpopulation and keeping the community's pets safe and healthy. It really takes a community effort. So while this small group is here talking about cats today, we really need the whole community's help to solve the problem. So, and that doesn't just come from people who love animals. That can come from businesses who want to help the community in all different types of ways. So there's lots of ways that you can help Chelsea HubCats, from donations to foster homes to even just calling in if you see cats out in your neighborhood, and let us know where colonies are. So just get involved, and that's what's going to help solve the problem here.
And just to clarify, in terms of the vouchers,
Yep.
typically you work through your community ACO, and then
Yep.
the ACO provides the voucher as opposed to contacting anybody else like yourself directly, right?
Yeah, I mean, they can always call me. I don't mind getting calls during the day. I
okay.
really don't. But the vouchers do get issued through the animal control officers. So the way the program is set up is we give the ACO the vouchers as a tool to help members of his community, because we figure the animal control officer knows the community better than we do at the state office. So you do want to contact the ACO for the vouchers, but if you have questions about the voucher program or any questions about spay and neuter in general, feel free to contact me too.
I guess I'd like to say we're still new, we're evolving. We need everyone's help. As Sherry said, it takes community and more. I'm just going to put another pitch for foster, just because there are so many wonderful cats out there that were potentially once owned, who are very friendly and would make great family members. And then the community cats also have a place in terms of doing work outside. And Stacy had mentioned a company here in Chelsea that has stations put up for them so that they can live on-prem with food and do their job, which would be, you know, keeping the rodents away. So there's many different ways to participate and help cats, but I mentioned the fosters just because sometimes we get more cats than we know what to do with, and they all deserve a chance.
So I will also put out a last plea for a potential location for us to hold our community cats when they are trapped and waiting to go to the free weekend clinics that we participate in. So we're looking for a facility that's heated, potentially has some running water, just a place where we can have about 10 to 15 cats in traps for a 24-hour period before they go into surgery, and then for about a 24-hour, 48-hour period after surgery. It would make a huge impact for us to be able to target our efforts and like take one colony and just trap that whole colony at one time, rather than trapping 2 or 3 this month and 2 or 3 the next month. It's kind of swimming against the population tide, basically, by sort of piecemealing a trapping effort, and it makes it a lot harder for our trappers to do that. So I'll put that pitch in, and I'll also say that, you know, I really think over the next 3 to 5 years, as we get this group together, Chelsea's going to be a great place for cats to live. It's going to be the best community in the state for cats.
We'll be building condos for them.
Yep, building condos for them. I think that sounds great.
As long as they vote. Can they vote? I need the votes. I just want to thank, this was very, it was great, this show.
Sorry to interrupt. I would like to mention one thing I forgot to mention, that
No, you can't.
I'm just going to talk. No.
Okay.
The thing is, we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, so any donation is tax deductible.
You through now?
Yeah.
Very nice. I'll tell you, you know, listen, you don't have to adopt a cat, but you can donate. Anything like they just mentioned, you know, give us a call, give them a call. They've got a website. And just if you can donate something, and anything, any little thing helps, right?
Agreed.
Because they're just an upstart. They're just getting started, and they want to make, you know, a nice inroad in Chelsea, which they should, because we can use them, and we'd look forward to having them. And I think if we all pitched in and helped out a little bit, this would be very successful, right? So I want to thank the 4 of you. You're welcome back. You have an open door policy, and if you want to bring the animal control officer, just, you know, so I can have another guy on my side. He is a guy, right?
He is a guy.
All right.
Yep.
So yeah, make the odds a little better here. All
Don't you
right.
like these odds, too?
Yeah, I do, but I'm overwhelmed. I'm getting too old. I want to thank my technical director, Ricky Velez. He did a great job. Thank you, Ricky, for entertaining this show. And as I said, you guys are welcome back anytime, okay?
Thank you.
Thank
Good luck.
Thanks.
And first Tuesday of every month at the police station.
Right.
Don't forget, if you want to be there, it's free for everybody to come there. They welcome all. And this is Duke Bradley signing off.